man walked into a forest to find something simple, a missing dog. But when he came back, something was wrong. He didn't return hours later like the clock showed. He returned 3 days later. The strange part? His phone recorded only 47 minutes. And he wasn't confused. He was certain those 3 days were real. But everyone else insisted they never happened. Not even a single hour was missing. So the question becomes, if time didn't change, what did? And why does everyone who enters this forest come back with memories that don't match reality? Deep in a quiet region surrounded by dense woodland, there is a forest that appears completely ordinary. Tall trees, soft wind, birds calling in the distance. Nothing about it looks dangerous. Nothing suggests anything unusual. But locals avoid it, not because of wildlife, not because of danger, but because of something they cannot explain clearly. When asked why, most simply say, people don't come back the same. Some say that's superstition. Others refuse to speak at all. And that silence is the first real warning. Because every recorded case begins the same way. Normal people, entering normally, returning differently. The earliest documented case came from a land surveyor. He entered the forest alone to map the area. Nothing unusual happened at first, until he reported something strange. A cabin, deep inside the forest, old, wooden, clearly lived in. Inside, he said, an elderly woman offered him tea. They spoke for hours. She knew details about his life he never told anyone. Then he left. But when investigators searched the area, there was no cabin, no foundation, no remains, nothing, just trees. And yet his memory remained perfect, down to the smell of the room, the sound of the fire, the woman's exact words. Years later, another traveler described the exact same cabin, without knowing the first report existed. Same woman, same tea, same conversation. But this time, there was a contradiction, because the cabin never existed in any physical record. So where did two identical memories come from? As more people entered the forest, the reports became even more disturbing. A group of hikers entered together. Same path, same time, same conditions. But when they returned, their stories completely disagreed. One said they crossed a river. Another insisted there was no river at all. A third described abandoned military structures. The fourth denied everything unusual happened. All of them were absolutely certain. But drone footage revealed something shocking. None of those events occurred. No river crossing, no structures, no detours. Just a normal walk through trees. So the question changed. Were they lying? Or were they all remembering something that never existed? Researchers began collecting hundreds of reports, and something unusual appeared. Even though the stories were different, certain details kept repeating. A woman in white, a distant bell sound, a hidden structure deep in the forest, voices calling from nowhere. But the strangest part wasn't the details. It was the emotional certainty. People didn't think it happened. They knew it happened. Some became emotional while describing it. Others refused to accept contradictions, as if the memory mattered more than reality itself. Then something even stranger emerged. Multiple people who never met described the same experiences, in the same way, with the same emotional intensity. Scientists searched for logical explanations. One theory pointed to magnetic anomalies underground. Certain readings in parts of the forest were unstable, and it was known that electromagnetic activity can affect the brain. It could cause confusion, disorientation, even hallucinations. For a moment, it seemed like the mystery might be solved. But there was a problem. The readings were inconsistent, and they didn't explain the shared memories. Because hallucinations don't usually match across multiple people. So the explanation fell apart, and the mystery grew deeper. A retired park ranger then shared something he had never reported before. He had worked in the forest for over 20 years. He knew every path, every clearing, every landmark. One night he became disoriented, not physically, but mentally. He claimed he entered an area he had never seen before. Inside, he found a village. Old, silent, abandoned, yet not entirely empty. Smoke rose from chimneys. Doors stood slightly open, but no people were visible. He walked through it. He heard footsteps behind him. When he turned, no one was there. Then everything faded, and he found himself back on a normal trail. His watch showed only minutes had passed, but he remembered hours. The village was never found again. To test the phenomenon, researchers launched a controlled experiment. Volunteers entered the forest with full recording equipment. Cameras, GPS trackers, audio logs, everything. At first, nothing unusual happened. Then, one participant stopped. He said he saw a child walking between the trees. The others saw nothing. The cameras saw nothing. But he insisted the child was real. He described her face, her clothing, even her voice. But no evidence supported it. And then something worse happened. Other participants later reported conversations that never occurred, recorded nowhere, captured by nothing, but remembered clearly, as if reality had been overwritten only inside their minds. Today, the forest remains open. People still enter it, some for curiosity, some for adventure, and some never realize what it does until they return. Changed, not physically, but mentally, with memories they cannot explain, or verify, or remove. And the question remains, if two people can walk into the same forest and come out with two completely different realities, then what is the forest really changing? And more importantly, if you entered it tomorrow, would you still trust your own memories when you came back? Or would something else come back with you instead?